All right, guys, so this is Conscious Wave, and we're going to be talking about toxic traits. Boom, 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 boom.
My toxic trait is wanting to help anybody and everyone but myself because that's just easier. What about you?
My toxic trait is allowing things to go on for too long, and then I eventually slap on people.
Yeah, I feel that. That's a good one.
What's yours?
I tend to feed into my delusions.
Got it. Our delusional queen.
So, who wants to explain a time where they fed too much into their toxic trait?
I had a roommate, and I told them that they could use my blender and my coffee maker as long as they took care of my stuff. And every time I wanted to use it, it was dirty. It wasn't ready for me to use. So I kind of just like internalized that frustration until I couldn't internalize it anymore.
You're like, what the fuck? Clean this shit up right now.
For me, I just want to be better at like vocalizing my boundaries with
Yeah.
people. I don't like to mention it the first time around because I'm not sure if this is a character flaw. I just want to give people the benefit of the doubt at first. I think I'm just afraid my tone is going to offend someone.
I just feel like it would just be an argument. Like,
I'd be like, yo, come here. What is
Because now I'm ready to argue.
a time where I gave into my toxic traits? I don't know. I just have this thing for broken ass people. I feel like because I know that there's just so much potential for them and that like learning is growth is learning. Like I feel like those people need help the most. I think I enjoy helping other people over myself because it's just easier to hold someone else accountable than to hold myself to.
Do you like to watch them grow, like monitor their growth?
Yeah, but then it like I like to like watch their growth and then I'm like, oh, like I'm a valuable human being because like I'm helping them evolve.
But you are valuable anyway.
I know, and it's funny because this has to like go back into our other topic, but like I think for a while I believed that if I suffered enough adversity or just threw myself into adversity, I'd be more destined for greatness.
You're like putting yourself through that diamond like pressure.
Right.
But it's also like we already deal with enough not diversity. We already deal with enough adversity, you know?
Yeah.
I feel like some things are meant to happen, you know what I mean? And other things are just a repetition of that cycle.
Yeah, it's like I like to go through bullshit because I'm like, maybe in the end I'll be like, I don't have to put up with this anymore. Or I'll like set a boundary so I don't have to go through that.
Yeah, the universe will make sure that you go through the lesson enough times until you get it.
Right.
So. What about you?
Okay. So I've always struggled with overthinking, whether it be about like how I present myself or what I decide to wear. It starts out like being positive. I will. What is happening?
Bro, I'm getting hot.
Real. I'm sorry.
Okay,
I'm gonna just look here. Go ahead.
look over there. My mind starts off very positive, and then it starts to wander about how I may be viewed by someone else or what this person is thinking of me. And it's not always like a bad thing until like you leave someone else to judge your value.
Why do you think you give that power away?
Because I like the reassurance, you know? I like to know what I look like in other people's eyes.
Like, hey, you look good today, you know? I don't know. I feel like because we're like all Leo risings, we like to feel seen, and when we're not being seen, it's like, am I
did
ugly?
something horrible.
You not like me? Like, what is going on?
Do you practice giving that validation yourself?
Like saying my affirmations in the mirror, like
Well, not even saying your affirmations, but like if you are catching yourself up in like thinking like, oh, like
yeah, I'll be like,
that.
bitch, come on, you've got this.
What percentage of the time are you able to like reframe that thought of overthinking?
Like how many times a day?
Like how good are you at flipping the like thinking about what they're thinking?
When I was like younger, I would just like continue to let my mind wander, but now it's gotten to a point where it's just like I have things to do.
Yeah, no,
I
feel
can't
that.
keep thinking about like what this this one person or this person over here or this person over here thinks of me.
I feel like it gets complicated when you have like friends too, because it's like these aren't strangers. Like these are people that you know that want to know you. You want to know them,
Mm-hmm.
and so like when you are kind of like being critical of yourself
Yes.
around someone you care about, I feel like that's when you're really like, I need the validation.
Having friends, like when I was younger, I would always want to cater to them because I didn't know why they were like getting so close. You know, I was just kind of like this like off to the side person.
Yeah, I just want that to come organically from them, you know.
It's a part of our nature to want to belong to like a group of people because we're
Yeah.
naturally social beings.
So if you meet someone that's like, I don't want connection.
Oh.
Oh, I one of my friends was like that, and I'd be like, "Girl, you need to branch out. Like, it's not fair that there's people out there that are for you, and you're just not allowing them to come in. You know."
I feel that.
That's a word for myself too.
I feel like in my mind, it's like if I'm not valued, I don't have to hold responsibility for like my relationships and like how I influence them.
That's okay. You're gonna be valued anyway.
yeah.
Okay, guys, how have you evolved since your last encounter?
I've really learned to value my time because I just want to give it away so freely, and just understanding that like someone else's healing like isn't my responsibility, it's theirs.
Yep.
Yep. Even though like I might not be able to help them, like I'm still learning a valuable lesson about someone can be down in the dumps, but like what are you gonna do to like pull yourself out? Value yourself. Don't try to let situations or like external things place that value.
To me, my time is valuable, and so when I see that other people aren't valuing that time, I'm like, so you don't value me.
Mm-hmm.
That's fair.
Have you evolved?
I've just accepted the fact that I'm a deep thinker, and I just learned to not be so hard on myself.
I think that's so interesting. It's so easy to get fixated on like how other people view us versus looking at ourselves in the mirror and just being like,
Validating.
right, like it's such a gift to just be present and to have all limbs that are working.
You can be delusional to the point of like having this confidence,
Mm-hmm.
or you can be so delusional to where you kind of lose that confidence and you're like putting yourself down.
I heard something that was like sometimes you have to be delusional about your dreams because no one else is gonna understand your vision.
Dude, somebody was talking about, someone's like, you're so out of touch with reality. Like, you pull out all this money and you do all of this, that, and the third. And she's like, yeah, I am detached from reality. I'm not living how y'all live. I don't want to live that way.
Right. You want me to live in the Matrix? No.
No, I don't want to live that way.
No, I'm good. I'm good.
For me, I think it's still a work in progress. I'm still not going to come at your throat the first time you do something wrong. I'm still going to be like, let's just check this out and see if you do it again. And if you do it again, that is when I might be like, I don't like that. Please don't do it again. It's just learning to separate the problem from the person, because I a lot of the time I'm like, I don't want to say this because I don't want to hurt your feelings. But in turn, I'm hurting my own feelings by not saying anything. Yeah. So I just need to be like, hey, when you don't clean my stuff and you leave it...
Tell it to her.
When you don't clean my stuff and you leave it dirty, I can't use it, and that makes me sad. So can you please clean my thing so that I can use it? This is how you set a boundary, apparently.
Okay.
If you don't do this, then this is going to happen.
Right, and that's a good boundary to have with other people.
Yeah, no, it's definitely hard to like bring forth or like confront someone about something they did and how it made you feel when obviously that's not how they meant to go about it. Like, I want to guide them to what I'm trying to talk about, but I also don't want to be like, the fuck are you doing?
I feel like it really is tones like, hey, like I noticed my stuff is still not clean. If you don't clean up after yourself after the fact, like you can't use it anymore. Like, and that's just what it is.
Yeah.
And then we can have a conversation about it, because I'm not pissed at you for not washing it.
Yeah.
The fact of the matter is that it's dirty and I can't use it, and that's the problem.
I
so
think
let's
that's really
talk about
important.
the problem.
That like distinguishing the problem from the person, separating.
Yeah, and I would straight up say like, listen, I'm not mad at you, but I would like to use my things, and I don't really want to clean up after you because you're grown. So
Dude,
clean it up.
My dad did some shit that really pissed me off. I had like my swim clothes like drying, and like I'll leave them on my porch, but sometimes like the wind will pick them up and like It'll just be in the yard.
Mhm.
And it like flew under like the porch or something, and I saw it like when I walked into the house, but I was like, whatever, I'll get it later. I left the house and came back, and my rash guard was on my bed, and there was like a roly poly on my shirt. And I'm like, Dad, like, why did you put my shirt on my bed? He was like, because you just left it outside. And I was like, but it was behind our staircase. Like, you just put that in my bed. And he was like, well, maybe next time you'll learn to, like.
Mm.
And I was like, why are you petty?
What's your advice for someone dealing with this toxic trait?
Value yourself and your feelings, because at the end of the day, you go to sleep with how you feel. Hold yourself accountable when you set those boundaries with people. Like,
Stand your ground.
yeah, stand your ground. Otherwise, you're just showing people how to treat you when you let them walk over you. Nurture and find healthy, solid friendships, relationships that hold love to a higher standard. Yeah, I feel like when you're a person that just wants to be empathetic and caring and nurturing, you kind of lose the power and greatness that you have at just wanting to nurture this cold ass planet.
My advice for people dealing with my toxic trait is that setting boundaries is setting boundaries with the problem and not the person. So speak up and talk about the problem with the person.
My advice would be to acknowledge your value and that it is okay to have your ideas of, what other people see you, but don't gaslight yourself to the point where you're like contradicting your worth. So what is your green flag?
I have a couple of green flags.
As you should.
I'm creative.
Mm-hmm.
I know how to make something out of nothing. I'm ambitious, so if I want it, I'm gonna have it. And I like to explore, and I'm a dreamer. Those are my green flags.
Hell yeah. What about you, Kalea? You got them.
You got some green flags.
I didn't know, I couldn't think of any.
I like that you just tend to go with the flow of things. I'll be like freaking out about something, and she's just like, I don't feel anything towards it.
I like that you're like soft, but like you think very critically.
Oh, really? I guess a green flag. I'm good at giving massages.
One of my green flags, I'm a hugger.
Okay.
I don't know why that's a green flag, but
A tree hugger.
maybe that's a beige flag. I don't know. 'Cause some people don't want hugs. But it's funny because the people that I do
That's a red flag.
that don't want hugs, what?
People that don't want hugs are red flags.
Yeah. I like to give those people hugs.
That's a red flag.
I'm very patient. I feel like I have a high tolerance for bullshit. But you know how when you smoke weed and then you smoke more weed, your tolerance just gets higher? I feel like because I put up with bullshit like so much at a time, like
Your bullshit meter is just
right,
resistant.
and my boundaries are like
But then you're in control. Like if we finally just retorted back, people would just sit in silence.
okay, so is that got good vibes all the time?
Exactly.
Unless I'm dissociating. That's my beige flag.
Did you disassociate?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm indecisive.
What are you doing?
I don't
So
know.
my beige flag is that I talk a lot. I think that talking a lot is not necessarily a bad thing, but some people don't want to hear me talk, and that's okay.
I'd say my beige flag is just leaving a situation before it gets too awkward. Like I helped you out because you was fucking up.
You know what's gross?
What?
Secondhand embarrassment. Secondhand embarrassment is disgusting. I shouldn't have to experience that. Because you experienced it. I shouldn't have to.
Exactly, and that's why I'll just be like, it was nice talking to you.
So okay, give us a scenario in that sense.
So like if somebody is literally being like an asshole and they sound like an asshole,
Mm-hmm.
my thing to do is get up and leave. Like I'll be like, okay, before you say anything else that's stupid, I'm going to take my black ass and walk the other way.
right, because I'm not going to be associated with you.
Right. You don't have to look. Some people got riz, some people don't. Like
So
keep it real. If you don't got riz, just keep it real. Just say, hey, I want to take you on a date. And then that person will say yes or no. Yay or nay. And if you still really like this person, see where it goes from there.
Right.
See if you can change your mind. But don't be a creep.
Yeah, don't be a creep. Don't overdo it. If they say no and they shut it down.
If they say absolutely no, don't come near me, leave. You know? Just leave.
Thank you so much for listening to us talk about our toxic traits. If you made it to the end of the podcast and or the video, comment a frog. Also, look at our in the description down below. Go follow us everywhere for more content just like this.
Drop your green flag in the comments or your red one.
Or your beige flag. Because we want to know.
Exactly. We'll see you in the next one. Don't forget to like and subscribe. All right, bye.
Was it bad?
No.
Okay.
Okay, we're done. With 20 minutes left.